Alright guys, today I got a 2018 Volkswagen Atlas and I'll show you how to replace the valve cover gasket and spark plugs. So this is what we're going to do first. We're going to actually disconnect this massive flow sensor connector right here. Just going to pry this tab right here and then press and pull. Take off this clamp right there. Press on the tab here and pull this electrical wire. The same with this one, pry with the screwdriver and pull it. And then this vacuum hose as well, and then we're going to take off this cover here. It's going to expose the ignition coil wires, and then we are going to disconnect the ignition coil wires from the ignition coils. I'll show you how to. And then after that we are going to clean. There's some rat poop in here. We're going to clean this and then we'll go from there. So now we got all our ignition wires off the way. We are going to raise this whole connector. It's just some plastic tabs holding it at the bottom. Be gentle, and then we'll put it on the side. So to take the ignition coils the safest way, you're going to need a kit like this one. That's the part number right there. And once you open it, I believe it's got 3 different tools and you have to choose which one works for you. So I'm going to use this one. So this tool makes it easier and faster, and it's the safest way to actually get these ignition coils because it's meant for that. So this tool makes it easier, but sometimes, you know, they're in there for quite a long time. Like this guy, they've been there for over 100,000 miles. So this one gave me a hard time, and then you saw this other one flew off. So I'm gonna pick it from there, and then we're going to line them up according to the way they came off. So just make sure you know how they came off. This one, the flat side is facing the outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside. So I'm going to line them up the same way they came, and then we'll go from there. In the back here we got one hose right there. All you have to do is the vacuum hose. All you have to do is press on the tab and then pull, and then we got the rubber one right here. Let me see if I can show you with the light. You see what I'm talking about. So this one, you have to press on these tabs. There's one here and one at the bottom. Press and pull, and then this one's just a rubber one. You just have to pull it outside. So let me do that, and then we'll go from there. At the back here we got a triple square bolt. I don't know what size. I'll double check and then I'll keep you posted. And then we got, there's one here, and there's another one right here. And then when you come this side, we got a couple. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I believe. And then on this dipstick, there's one screw right there. This is one of the most difficult ones. And then at the bottom here, we have a vacuum hose that we need to disconnect right here. So I'm going to take those out, and then I'll show you once they are out. So So for the triple square, for the bracket at the back, I use this Duralast. It's the M10. I broke it loose with a ratchet, so it's good to go. And then for these ones, this one here, that one there, and the ones in front, and I believe this one and this one comes out completely, but these ones in front, they remain on the upper intake plenum right there. For these two on the sides and the ones in front, we are going to use a T30 Torx. So once you take all the bolts out of the way, the two bolts right there, the triple square, and these 2, 4, 5 in the front, this guy is now good to go. So that's the vacuum hose I was telling you about. You have to be very careful and gentle, and I'll show you where it connects. And now once you take off the way, you can see now we have to clean these ports and block them so that nothing falls in there. We have to replace the gaskets, and then now our valve cover is exposed. So let me take care of this, and then that vacuum hose connects right in there, and then we're going to change these intake plenum gaskets as well. So let me do that, and then I'll bring you guys back. You can see now our ports are covered. There's nothing that's going to fall in there. So right now, if you come this side, there's this electrical wire. I just use a door panel to unplug it from right there and there. And then if you come this side, you can see this bracket is almost in the way. I use the triple square to loosen it just a little bit, just like so, the way it is right now, so that we can just push this bracket just a little bit so that we can have access to this 10mm bolt right there. And then now we have another situation right here. We have a torque bolt right there on top of the valve cover. We have another one right there, but we're going to take this 10mm bolt first, and then we have clearance to get to this one. So now you can see when everything is off the way, you can see the valve cover is seeping on the sides. If you follow it, you can see it is seeping. Let me see if I can focus right there. You can see with the edges. So right now, let me take those out, and then we'll go from there. Now that we got almost everything out of the way, what we are going to do right now is we're going to take all the 10mm bolts around the valve cover. I believe there are 17. I'm not too sure, but let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I was right, there are 17. So we're going to take them starting from the center going outwards. Since we got all the bolts out, I think it's just a matter of lifting that valve cover off, and then we'll go from there. You can see the valve cover is out now, and you can see the engine looks clean at 100,000+ miles. So you can see the seepage on the sides tells you the valve cover started leaking. So we'll take this valve cover gasket off just like so. You can see it's kind of brittle. So now what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to clean the mating surface, and then let me see where the crack is. We'll put some silicone on the edges right there, at that corner right there, and then on the other side as well, and on that spot right there, and on the corner right there. So let me clean it up and then we'll go from there. So the best way I find cleaning this mating surface after you take out the valve cover gasket, I use some brake clean and just a rag, spray on the rag and start cleaning from inside outwards so that nothing falls inside the engine. You can see right now the mating surface is all cleaned up. What's remaining is just getting a scraper and scrape off. Let me see if I can focus. Scrape off those old silicone and on that edge right there, and then clean them up. So let me do that and then I'll bring you guys back. You can see right now we are good to go, all cleaned up. So this is where the crack for the timing cover is. So put some silicone right there and right there, and this side the same right there, and then also right there. So right now, since everything is cleaned up, you can see well-maintained service. I think they've been on point. So what I'm going to do right now is, let me just clean up. I forgot to clean up these spots for the ignition spots. Now you can see spotless clean, and now I'm going to cover it, and then so that nothing falls in there, I'll re-prep the valve cover. We've covered the top part of the engine right there where the valve cover goes, so that nothing falls in there, so that we go and clean the valve cover itself. What's up, guys? So the intake plenum is all cleaned up, you can see, and we got the 4 gaskets. We got the new one right here, and this is the way they go on. Make sure this groove aligns with the other groove, just like so. So we got all 4 installed, good to go, and I believe that's the part number right there. You can see FCP Euro. That's a part number right there. They're called fuel injector plenum gasket. So we got these 2 spots. It's these big ones. I believe that's the part number right there, and I'll show you they're still on the vehicle. So right now that's our old gasket, which is for the valve cover. Let me install the new one since the valve cover is clean right now, and then we go from there. That's the packaging for the valve cover gasket, and I believe, I'm not too sure if that's the part number. No, the part number is right here. And this is the one right here. So I'm just gonna go install it on the valve cover there, and then we go from there. So we got our new valve cover gasket installed on the valve cover. So now we'll go under the hood, take out our towels, and then put some silicone, and then we should be good to go. So these are thicker than the other 4 gaskets. You can see these are thicker and bigger. It's only 2 of them, and that's the part number right there. And this is the way they go in. You see that piece right there, one of the tongues, it goes at the bottom, so just be careful and know how they come off and how they go back on. You can see right now I put silicone where it's supposed to be, 2 on this side, that spot and that spot, and 2 on the other side, that spot and that spot. Don't go too crazy, just a little bit. And then right now we are good to go to install the new valve cover gasket, which is already on the valve cover right there. And make sure you don't pinch this vacuum hose. It's too tiny, so if you don't pay attention you might pinch it, so just make sure when you're installing it is off the way. Alright, so the valve cover is back on, but it needs to be torqued to spec. So pretty much everything from here must go in pretty much the opposite orientation of how they came out. So right now this is the tightening sequence. I'm yet to find the torque spec, so I'm gonna put everything off camera, but once I put everything off camera I'm gonna bring you guys back when torquing these bolts, and then also the intake planner, and then pretty much everything goes back on the reversal way. So I couldn't find the torque spec on Mitchell, so I just googled. It says 8 Newton meters, which is about 71 foot-pounds. So we'll torque it to 71 inch-pounds. So let me do that. What's up guys, so at this point we are going to replace the spark plug since the valve cover is back on, and I'm just gonna show on how to replace on this one, which is the number 1, and then the other 5 will just be the same process. We'll just fast forward, and we're going to use the 5/8 gear wrench socket. So we got the number 1 replaced, and right now for the other 5 we're just gonna fast forward. So after 100,000 miles, this is how our spark plugs are looking, not too bad. So we'll go ahead and replace the other 5 in a fast forward motion. So just like so, you got your spark plugs replaced. So I broke them loose with the ratchet, then switched the impact wrench so that won't cause any damage. And putting them back, you just have to snag them and make sure you watch the gap on the new spark plug all the time you put the new ones on. So pretty much the spark plugs are in. Now it's time to put back the intake plenum, and then we'll go from there. So I torqued back the 2 bolts for this bracket at the back. Now we are going to go ahead and put this bracket onto the valve cover, and then this bolt as well for this pipe. So the bottom bracket goes back on first. That's when you put this one on, because if you put this one, then you have no access to get to this other bolt. So start with the bottom bracket and then put the other 10mm bolt on top right there. So this part is done. What's remaining right now is to install the intake plenum. So we'll take these rags off just like so, and don't forget the vacuum hose. This is the one right here. Don't forget to connect it to the intake plenum, and then once that is done, also install the dipstick. I removed it completely so that you can have good access. So right now let me do that, and then I'll bring you guys back. So our intake plenum is back on. The torque spec is the same as the valve cover, 9 Newton meters. So we'll use inch pound, which is 71. I don't see the torquing sequences, so I'll just go start with this one, and then to this one to the other one, and then this one, and then the other 2 in the back right there. Now it's time to install the ignition coils, so remember how they came out. Alright guys, that's what it takes to replace the valve cover gasket and spark plugs on the 2018 Volkswagen Atlas 3.6 liters V6 engine. I hope you like this video and I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. You know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, notification button, and leave a comment in the section below, and I'll see you on the next one.